14, 15, 16-year-old kids getting stabbed. It's not like what you see on TV. It's not like what you see in rap song. That's not what it's about. The reality is that the gangster life is rough. Players got jumped by 𝐊𝐶K at a rave. And this guy, man, I gotta give him props. And how many were there?
It was about 3-4 of them.
3-4 of them, they didn't get his hat. Like, he stood his ground. We're both working on trying to get the youth away from that kind of nonsense with the love for the one true God.
Because we didn't come from a place of love.
No, it was rough, bro. Growing up was rough.
I remember this guy in his home, nothing but guns. Am I lying?
Some things don't change. Understand the balance between letting wealth distract you from the akhirah or using your wealth for building your akhirah.
What are some practical steps I can take to getting there?
Our brother Ammar Sultan, who has Muslimpreneur, link is below. Check it out. And like we said before, he's going to give a free class, absolutely free, just for the people watching the D3 podcast. This is my man, Laters.
What's up, my boy? What's up, my boy?
This is my boy from back in the days, man. And I want to talk about him because this is guy, I've known him since when?
1992.
1992. Most of you watching weren't even born. And we grew up together in the same streets, same neighborhoods, same kind of struggles. And I know a lot of young people watching, they're in that path where they think it's cool. They think that that's the way to go. And we're going to talk about what we went through. And hopefully this will be a reminder for everybody else out there not to fall for the same mistakes that we did. A lot of people out there think like as if we became gang members to be cool or something. I mean, me and him were from the same hood, AEK, East Side. Southern California in the 80s and 90s was rough. Cutthroat, bro. And me and him went through it. A lot of people think we talk about this stuff for videos, but you tell them, man.
You know, as Usman has said, much love and respect to you, man. This man has been front line. And I'm not here to advocate the past. What I want to say is this man has been through the trenches. Front line, man. I remember you tagging the hood, man. Remember on the 163 freeway?
We had this wall,
midnight. Man, all through East Side, this guy is certified.
Me, him, Zags, Tron, Duro, Duro. We did some stuff, man. We used to go get these freeway signs and we'd have a belt. Like, imagine this, just a belt tied to your wrist. The guy would be hanging you over a freeway sign and you'd be graffitiing. If you fell, you die. And not just that. I mean, we grew up in neighborhoods where, the first person I ever saw get killed from my own friends, I was 14. Like, how many people have we lost, right?
Lesson. Little Gangster.
Yeah.
There has been just recently passed away in May of this year.
These are all people we grew up with, that we were like brothers with, that, we would go to their house, they'd come to our house.
Much love also to Sono from SCK. He also affiliated with us.
Yeah.
On the Ake Mob. A lot of homeboys have died.
Yeah. I mean, if you look like the East Siders, you have Diablo, Travieso, Boxer, all these people that we grew up with, Chapo, the original, not the second or third. These are people that we grew up with that got killed, that got shot. For what? Like 14, 15, 16-year-old kids getting stabbed. It's not like what you see on TV. It's not like what you see in rap song. That's not what it's about. The reality is that the gangster life is rough. I mean, every day you go through stuff and it's not just parties and women and money being thrown around. It's not like that. I remember when Laters got jumped by 𝐊𝐶K at a rave. And this guy, man, I got to give him props. He had an AIK hat. He had an A hat for the representing. And how many were there?
It was about 3-4 of them.
3-4 of them, they didn't get his hat. Like, he stood his ground, Right after that, we went, me and we retaliated right away. And I'll just tell you this, man. I remember shooting up 𝐀𝐿's house. we put people out of commission. I'm not going to talk more because we don't really talk business on camera, but that's how we were. We were that close growing up. And
listen, man, I'm going to tell you, this guy, if there's anybody out there on social media, no matter where you're from, that has any doubt, we can verify him. He can go to the East. He can go to Southeast. Everybody knows who Loke is, certified in the streets. And what we did, we don't want to repeat or talk about. What we're here to is spread the message of love and peace.
Exactly. And Laters, he's a Christian, but we chop it up. and we're both working on trying to get the youth away from that kind of nonsense with the love for the one true God. And this guy knows a lot about Islam. He's on his way, inshallah, right? Inshallah, man.
So let's talk a little bit about you. How did you come to know?
Yeah, so what happened with me, as you remember back in the days, it was me and you, and a bunch of us, we were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And once a lot of the killings started to kind of make me think about, what's the point of life? I started to study religions. Growing up, I went to church. All of my friends were either Christian or Catholic or whatever, right? So, we used to, even me and Duro, and we used to go out churches. People thought it's going to fix us, but a lot of the churches, they don't come real with it. A lot of them just about money. They don't want to answer questions. A lot of them just be like, donate. And when I'd have questions about the Bible or contradictions, they didn't really answer me. So I kind of went on my own little journey. I started to research different religions, even though like I'm Pakistani, ethnically Pashtun, but like I didn't really click with Islam because I didn't grow up with any Muslims. I didn't have any Muslim friends.
With us.
Exactly. And I grew up Mexican, bro. I was from the Raza, We grew up, doing all quinceañeras.
Real.
That's how we grew up, right? And but when I started to study, like when I was 18, then I tried to really figure out what's the purpose of life, because you get sick of burying your friends and not seeing a purpose what they died for. Like think about it today, like those street names, like us and SCK used to go at it, right? I mean, SCK was kill on sight, like it was on, right?
And now they're our homeboys.
Now it's the beef's over, right? Like what the heck, I was hearing about homies getting tattoos by SCK guys in the pen. I was like, what, man? But that tells you, like in the end, they were going through the same struggles we were going through. They were in the same kind of mindsets as we were. Like there wasn't really a difference. Like we were killing each other over, right? So when I started studying, like, okay, Islam and the belief in one God, not worshiping any men, loving Jesus, loving Moses, loving Abraham, loving Muhammad, peace be upon all of them, seeing the common thread between these faiths of, like the 10 Commandments, right? Hear, O Israel, your Lord is one. Like that made sense. But when people start telling you like God's three, like, it doesn't really make sense to me, So Islam clicked, and then I decided to cold turkey it. That's why I disappeared, bro. I cold turkeyed, I left. A lot of people thought I was dead. Rumors were going around that I got shot.
Rumors were that you died.
Yeah, and I let those rumors go because you know what? I preferred it that way. Yeah, it got me out, because like we did dirt, right? And people don't forget that kind of stuff. You put somebody's cousin in a grave, they don't forget that vendetta, right? So if people thought I was dead, it was better for me. I moved out. I went to Pakistan. I went to Dubai. I studied. I learned Arabic. I learned the Quran, and it just changed my life. I got married. I got my son right here, Musa. I got my other son, Yusuf. They're my roll dogs now. That's my homies right now, man. We go anywhere. We go together. I started thinking about all the people that we grew up with, and I started chopping up with a lot of them and try to get them out. I don't remember a guy who's right, Irie. Andre, he got out. Yeah, he's Muslim now. He moved out to Detroit. Duro's Muslim. His brother Ammar is Muslim. So they kind of got away from all that. Bruce and his younger brother Ammar, I see him all the time. I try to then, change it to being a positive influence, I mean, we were supposed to do this with a bunch of other guys too, but those that are still active can't be on video, But me and Laters, we both out. Laters fixed his life up. You got a beautiful daughter now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Beautiful daughter, beautiful wife. I love you, Cindy. My mother, Miriam.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful dynamic. And whether you're Muslim, Christian, whatever it is, the fact that you have decided to change your life to give to others and come from a place of love is how it starts.
Yeah.
Because we didn't come from a place of love.
No, it was rough, bro. Growing up was rough.
I remember this guy in his home, nothing but guns. Am I lying?
Some things don't change. No.
But, we grew up.
They used to call me Shooter. I mean, because I like guns. Yeah.
And low cat guns, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't want to glorify the past that we went through. What I want to focus on is what you're doing to the community.
Yeah.
Is pushing it forward. These are lost young men that don't have the father figure.
Yeah.
And we're here to steer them in the better direction.
Dr. Maz, how can you help the brothers?
Alhamdulillah, we started an agency called the Halal Cattle Club about 5 years ago. And alhamdulillah, essentially our aim is to focus on people who are already making really good money annually. And what we want to do is we want to help turn that into wealth for them. Because at the end of the day, one of the major issues I found as a dentist was that I was making really good money, 6 figures a year, but I'm only making good money when I'm sitting in the dental chair and I've got a patient in my chair and I'm working on them. Whenever I take some time off, whenever I've got like a little protectors, if I had an injury, as soon as that happens, boom, income stops. And that was a huge stress for me.
Somebody wants to get a hold of you, put the link in the description, put that QR code so you can get a hold of the brother, so he can give you the information you need to be financially independent, inshallah.
Because for us, it wasn't like a lot of people think we got into that stuff because we wanted to be cool or something, but that's not what it was like. Like, we were thrown into the fire. Like, we went to school in areas where you had to survive.
Everybody knows your mom.
Yeah.
Everybody knows your mom, that she, where she taught at.
Yeah.
All the homies all went to Wilson.
Yeah, my mom was amazing. And my mom, may Allah bless her. She's still alive. May Allah give her a long, pious life. She used to teach in one of the roughest neighborhoods, and all the gangs were scared of her.
Yeah, man.
But she was a single.
I used to stay the night at your house.
Yeah, you did.
You always welcome me home. All the homeboys. You always, you know what? Loke never carried a bad name.
Yeah,
always had respect and love. And
Yeah.
the reason why is because he showed it to other people too.
Yeah.
We have people in our neighborhood that were shady, double crossers, snakes,
Yeah,
and
rats
what
and
you did was
snitches.
show love to everyone.
Yeah. I remember I used to stay a night at your house by Helix.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember your dad was he used to make
dad,
your dad passed away. What happened?
away,
I don't even know, bro.
He took his own life.
Oh, that's rough, man.
Yeah, back in 2000.
Out here or where at?
Yeah, I hear. Yeah.
That's rough, man. See, that's the kind of struggle we go through. Like, you guys, young kids, worry about their Wi-Fi doesn't work and they be throwing tantrums.
Man,
you don't know, man. You don't know the rough.
Much love to Zags.
Yeah.
Much love to Rhino. Much love to Paulo. Much love to the homies that always have my back. Going through this. Bullet.
Bullet from 𝐀𝐻𝐬𝐿. Yeah, that's my boy.
Much love to you, man.
We're here alive, and that's a miracle by itself. You could ask this man how many times we were shot at, how many times we had.
This guy got shot at a lot.
We got, and I remember 4th of July at Belmont with Pipa and the SEK boys. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Remember the whole clash happened. And
let's not talk too much about it. But there were people that didn't make it, and we're here, and we want to warn you, don't go down that path. There's nothing good down that path. You don't want to be doing 25 to life like a lot of people we know. I mean, Chapo Tres from East Side, he used to write to me, from Quentin and stuff, He would be like, like he was in solitary, crazy stuff. I don't want to talk about it, but it's a rough life. You don't want to be spending the rest of your life in a little box that's 6 foot by 10 foot. Think about that. Or dead. Look at so many of our friends, teenagers, they didn't even get to their 20s. That's not the life to look up to. But when you're good with God, when you have that tawheed, you have that firm belief, and you pray, you fast, you be a good father, you be a good husband, you be a good member of society, you can hang your head high. You may not walk into clubs and people run and duck like back in the days, but you're still alive. Me and Schemer from Hemlock. I don't know if you remember.
Schemer,
Enrique, Kiki,
That's a Kike.
Really?
He's
you chop it up with him? Yeah. That was my boy, man. Me and him went through stuff together, bro.
Hemlock.
Me and him got jumped at Wilson, 30 OBS guys, and it was just me and him, and we held our ground. Right? We both got kicked out of school together. And then when that stuff went down, me and him hooked up. We went to a ska rave right down here by Market, and just me and him. And we had like 6 SEK guys. They had golf clubs. That's why, I don't have hair. Yeah.
This guy
got cracked here.
Looks? Who cracked you?
Nah, it was Choke and some other dude. Score was there. Bunch of those guys were there.
You held your ground, homeboy.
I stood my ground. I mean, even when I went down, I kicked at him. I got up. Then I got hit with the crowbar right here. You can see the hair doesn't grow there either. That was a separate time. But after that, we went and shot up their pads and stuff. Tron was there. We had a lot of the boys from back. Diablo. I don't remember. He used to be from GDP before.
Yeah.
He sang.
We coalesced.
Yeah. He was with us a little bit, and it used to be a East Sider from RTS was with us too. Yeah, because East Side and AEK were always, we had the same hood,
we actually became part of it.
Yeah, it's part of East Side now, Sureños, yeah. And that's the thing, a lot of people, when we talk about Sureños and Southern California gangs, they think we're just talking about like stuff that we read about. No, we lived it, like, so we know what it's about. And we made it out, and a lot of people didn't. And we really hope that people will wake up. So if you're watching this and you're either caught up in that stuff, or you're about to get caught up in that stuff, or you're second guessing why you're caught up in that stuff, this is your opportunity. God is giving you this message to get you away from it. You can leave it and live. Like, there's a time when me and him could not have imagined not being Aiksters, not being Eastsiders, not being Sureños, not towing the barrio. That's all we did all day. That's what we thought about every day. We hung out together.
It consumed our lives. All we did was wake up, brush up, work out, go to the neighborhood. We met each other.
There you go.
Children and Winona.
There you go.
East Side. And
Euclid Avenue,
see
bro.
each other, and our whole breakfast, lunch, and dinner was about banging our neighborhood.
All day, all night.
All day, all night. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something about this guy. He actually carved AEK into his stomach. You might not want to tell you about this right now. I'm going to put you on blast. Remember that?
I did, yeah. I was supposed to get the tat across, and then the dude got locked up. So but a lot of us had, we were dedicated to those neighborhoods, but we could not have imagined getting out. That's all we knew. That's all we had each other. Look, like, we're sitting here, I'm telling you, like, there are times where cops picked us up. Remember when we were recording and Pipa is there on the cycle and the helicopter and the alley, and the helicopter came. That dude phased.
They took your camcorder.
They took my camcorder. Yeah, we had.
How are we not doing live right now,
bro? We had so much stuff we did on video. Back in the days, we didn't have the small cam. We had the big camcorder. We had jumped people that day. We had done other stuff that I'm not going to even mention. Tagging. We found ops and put them in their whatever, right? And the cops caught the tape, but none of us ratted.
No rats.
No rats.
To this day, huh, homeboy?
No snitching. Never. We kept it real.
10 toes down. Yeah. No snitching.
No snitching, bro. That's how we were raised.
Us on tape, and nobody snitched.
Cops had us. They picked up that dude. They used to write Faze. He became Muslim too, Khalid. And they had him in a little room and threatening him. Nobody snitched. Nobody got locked up. But nowadays, streets are jokes. Nowadays, we didn't even do heavy drugs and stuff because we would.
Yes, Kyle. All we did was smoke weed.
But we didn't. Acid, we didn't do no meth, or what's it called? Ethanol. What's it called nowadays? What's the big drug nowadays? Fentanyl. Tweak, fentanyl, heroin. We didn't mess with that stuff because we had rules. Like, I remember I forgot who was from SEK. We saw him, but he had his girl and his baby. We let him pass. We didn't even mess with them because we had respect for families. You saw somebody with their mom, you let them pass because we had respect. We didn't shoot kids. We didn't go and hurt women or children or elderly or try to, pimp people. Nah, we had respect for all, we had rules there. So any of that, none of that gay stuff. It was straight. Nowadays, you see these kids with plucked eyebrows and skinny jeans trying to act tough, bro. That ain't nothing tough about that. These guys can't even hold a fist fight, let alone, do anything else.
This mother effer had hands too. You were remember you beating up Porno?
Yeah. Porno ADK, you remember, huh? Yeah. We had him, and then we had
this was always working out too.
Yeah, not anymore, man. I wonder what happened to that dude, man. We used to beat that dude down, and that cat from Uno, that was ADK. We did a piece with him, and then we beat him up. Yeah. But that's the thing, man. I hope that this is a reminder for everybody to leave that life, because very few of us made it out. But we did. We're out. Like, we are living example that you can leave the gang life and have a life and survive.
And be successful. This guy drives a beautiful Tesla. I have a beautiful Dodge. We have beautiful families. The street life is temporary. It will only serve you for a period of time. What you need to do is go to your God. Serve him. Surrender. It's not easy. Nothing in life is easy unless you work hard towards it. We are living proof of that. Love you, dog.
Love you, bro.